Hey guys, it's Lockie from MacArthur Marketing, and on the podcast today I've got Lurke and Dibsy, known as Parker Hayes and Justin DeBella. Boys, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks so much for having us, bro. Appreciate
it. Boys, super excited to have you on the podcast. This is my first one, actually, with MacArthur Marketing, so it's pretty exciting. Today's all about the music scene, so I wanted to touch base with two Brisbane DJs at the moment. So let's just get a bit of an individual background on yourself. So,
I'd love to start. I love talking about myself. Thanks again for having us on, man. Really appreciate it. It's a pretty sick little opportunity to get. So not every day you get on a podcast, so it's pretty sick. I guess me, I'm Parker. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Emerald, Queensland. Lived there all my life until I was 18. Moved to Brisbane to study engineering. Did that for a bit. I changed my degree to finance and economics, which is a lot better in my opinion, just a lot more chill. Then from there, took a bit of a gap year, worked at Telstra and stuff like this, but all throughout my sort of time there, been interested in, music ever since I was in high school. Always been listening to music and stuff, bro, just chilling out, showing mates music, always getting on the SoundCloud and showing everyone the latest sick trap beat everyone was getting around at the time. I guess.
What sort of sparked the gap year?
Oh, honestly, man, just frustration, dude. Like frustration in terms of not knowing what I wanted or who I really was, to be honest. And as well, being broke mostly. I just didn't have any money. I was just at uni living off Centrelink. So I thought, damn, I need to go on a holiday. And the best way to get on a holiday is get a job first. So,
so true. Well, for all our listeners as well, we actually all met in college. So there was plenty of broke years there for sure as well.
Plenty. We're still going. We're still on that train. But it's all good.
We're still on that ride. That's awesome, Parker. Dibsy, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Justin, 24 as well. Come from Ingham, so up in North Queensland, sugarcane country. I moved to Brisbane to study at uni, studied architecture, still doing architecture, still working in architecture.
How'd you find the move from Ingham to Brisbane?
It was pretty good because I had a gang with me from high school, a few mates that came with me, so... yeah, it was pretty good, like having people you knew.
That's one thing I didn't have, bro. I didn't have many people particularly coming to Brisbane. All I had was like my older brother that was already living here, but he wasn't at college or anything.
Yeah.
So that was one of the caveats of being at college. I didn't have any mates to start off with, but when you've got no mates, you've got nothing but mates to gain. So that's one of the best parts.
Yeah, definitely. Always had music in my life, I guess. Played a little bit of guitar or learnt a little bit of guitar in school and early high school, sort of forgot about it during late high school and then sort of come back to it again later. Yeah. Pretty much like just now really. But then was DJing in high school too because pretty much another bloke in Ingham was DJing. So I was like, oh, it looks cool. So I'll buy some decks and give it a go. Pretty much just played all like high school parties, starting off and then come to Brizzy and then everyone wanted me to play sets at college. Like I remember the old exec used to just like pull me down the friggin' den and be like, "Oh, Dibsy, play a set for us." I, like,
I remember that. I remember rocking up at college, and then like we started to have like a couple of parties, gathering stuff, and then it was a pretty big deal if you like just got to college, and then the people who'd been there for 2 or 3 years started to really like get around you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'd be like having a conversation, trying to mingle a bit with a couple of 30s, being like, "Oh, they're getting to know me. This is cool." And then I look up at like on the DJ set all the time and it's just got these like 50, 70 people around Justin. I was like, well, he's making his way pretty quick.
Yeah, I even freaking got to open bunker underage. The first semester one because James was like, oh, come sound test. Like bring your USBs and plug into the mixer and do a sound test. And he's like, oh, you can just stay here if you want.
That's sick.
And then I ended up playing a bit at the end. So
yeah, that's awesome. No, awesome stuff, boys. So coming down for uni, keeping up the music, everything like that. So, Brisbane's glad we've got you really.
Oh,
which is fantastic. So in terms of music, I want to touch on just like inspirations, basically from like when you first started listening, any key artists or like just songs where you're like, I'm really into the music scene right now.
I mean, for myself, bro, like I was saying, when I was in high school and stuff, I just listen to like loud music, I guess, just like mad trap bangers. Obviously listening to Skrills and stuff like that, it was always pretty fun, and that sort of took me a lot in my early years prior to high school. And when I did arrive in Brisbane, I was a bit shocked to go out to a club and not really hear any of that. There was none of that sort of music, so I had to sort of mature in a way and actually realise, what do I want to listen to? And that's what coming to Brizzy was the best thing find out what music I do like and particularly what music I don't like. And so
Yeah.
I guess a lot of the artists that I played, like I said, old Skrills, and mostly just any like sort of mad trap artists. I know like old Kayzo, one of the first sets I ever went to in Brizzy was Kayzo at the Met, and that was just nuts, man. You know, like just loud bass music, and it was just pretty sick. But for me, I think in terms of like actual personally, bro, the first connection I had with music and the moment I sort of had like a bit of a spark in me going, oh, well, this is pretty sick, was when I was just looking at music on SoundCloud, man, and the first artist I ever discovered by myself, all the other music I'd listened to was always my brother showing me or on the radio or someone else was showing me. I never found anything by myself, and I always wanted to show other people sick tunes. And the first artist I ever listened to found good songs was Dylan Francis. And I was actually lucky enough, the first actual live show I ever saw in Brisbane. So going from being one of my favourite artists, actually finding him, showing other people this artist, saying, look and check out this dude, you know, I felt a bit cool and always wanted to show people good tracks. And then actually seeing him live, it just felt like, wow, where does this end? You know, if he's just going to come to Brizzy and I can just see him on a weekend, like who else can I see?
Yeah.
So particularly like going out and trying to discover a bit more music, I sort of lent towards going to Prohibition a fair bit, mainly because it was free entry, bro.
At the time.
And it's a massive club. It's a massive club, dude. So and they were obviously playing a lot of house music there, dude. And so that's where my sort of love of house music came, and that's sort of what I built my career on today, pretty much, and how I get paid.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Did you both get into it at a similar time, DJing, or was it sort of...
I think Dibsy's he's a bit more of an OG than I am. I only came around to actually DJing when I only felt like I should DJ, or, you know, wanted to have a crack at it when I went to a music festival and I saw Odessa, and I was like, damn, this is really sick. They had all these like drum lines and stuff on them, and I was quite blown away, but there was something in me that just thought, you know, like I think I could maybe do something a little better. And, you know, that's when I just thought, well, why not give it a crack? And, you know, 2 weeks later, I bought some decks from JB Hi-Fi, and our mate, old Patrick Melville, Lime, he had a set of decks as well, and him and I were going to join up the Your Shot thing, and we were real keen on it. And then I just remember trying to have a crack at DJing, and I just get frustrated, man. I'm not too good at learning too much stuff off the internet, you know, so it wasn't until I really went, like I was saying, that Your Shot competition, essentially, you know, you put your name in and they pick a bunch of, I think about 100 contestants. They teach you how to DJ over 6 weeks, and then you have a 30-minute set at Birdies, and the winner of that basically gets a bit of cred, and they actually get sent off to an international festival, pretty much. I think there was like 5 different countries, you know?
Yeah.
And I know a bloke that actually went out and did that, JX, and it's a pretty sick experience. But
how long did you have to prepare for that?
Well, that was the thing, man. Like, all the preparation was done through the actual program. So I didn't do any preparation, firstly, because I thought, well, maybe if I get into this DJ comp, they'll just teach me how to DJ, so I won't have to worry about that, you know? And thankfully enough, me and my mate Wade, shout out to Wade, we just went and did it. He was my, like, you know, he's my best mate, and we were living together, and we just thought, oh, stuff it, man, we'll go have a crack at this. Got in, it was pretty sick. Got old Noy, he's a local legend in Brizzy at the Met. He taught us basically, well, he taught me the foundations. I knew how to DJ, and then from there, the rest is history, bro.
Yeah. The story of how it all began, hey?
Yeah, man. Well, awesome. I didn't, again, man, like, that taught me a fair bit, but in terms of actually learning technique, song selection, and reading a crowd, I'll have to be honest, a lot of that was taught by Dibsy, man. A lot of the cool little effects and you know, little things that I actually learnt and applied that to a club scene, and actually probably got me the job I got today was because of this old mate. And it was just because he just wanted to show me, you know?
Yeah.
And then he paid me back and he got me in a pro. So
exactly right.
Win-win.
It goes around.
It all comes around in the end, eh?
That's
exactly
it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what about you, Dibsy? How did it all sort of start for you?
Oh, yeah. Like, I got a wide range of influences, I guess. Like, obviously in a country town, everyone listens to, like, country tunes and, like, rock and, like, 80s stuff.
Radio.
Yeah, literally. But, yeah, I pretty much learned off my mate in high school, Mosto. So shout out to Mosto. He's up in Townsville at the moment. So, yeah, he pretty much taught me, like, everything I need to know, and then met a few other people. Like, for a small town of Ingham, there's, like, a strangely large amount of DJs that come out of it.
Yeah?
Like,
hell yeah.
I could name at least 6 that were in, like, high school with, like, grades above or below. That have now, like, they're now playing in Townsville clubs,
parties.
Brisbane clubs.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, we always had pretty good parties, because there was like there's literally a time where we had like club ready decks from Fermi, who I also learned a lot of.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 of us DJing at a party off like club like standard decks. So it was like pretty much the real deal. So I pretty much got taught pretty early, all the tricks. And then, went to college, started playing trap, pretty much like Park was saying before, just like loud trap
Yeah.
shit.
So
I remember before events when you guys were like prepping some music, like Dibsy was first and then you came into it later, but there'd always be this like, the event starts at like 7 o'clock and obviously like you have like your pre-drinks, everything like that. And it was always about like 2 p.m. you'd hear you guys like testing out what you're going to play that night.
Yeah.
And a couple of the boys and girls and stuff having drinks and you start blaring it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's time to crack open a cold one. Even if it was like 11:30, I'd be like, the music's just getting everyone hyped.
Exactly, man. That's what, whenever like I prep, obviously we work on the weekend and new music comes out on Fridays in Australia and most of the world, but because Aussie's pretty early, we actually get like all the songs, bang on midnight, which is a whole, 12 hours before some of these other people even think about it. And so usually on a Friday I'm waking up, getting prepped, and yeah, man, my girlfriend hates it, bro, because I'm just listening to music. But I'm not listening to music for the sake. I'm not kicking back.
Yeah.
I'm picking a song and skimming through every 10 seconds, going, listening to it, like, because when I'm looking for a song, dude, I want it to be able to, in terms of if I was playing this at a nightclub, if someone was walking in the door, is this going to catch their attention at any moment?
Yeah.
So, that's what so I can listen to music for hours, but it's not even listening to music, bro. It's just scrolling 10-second clips. Pretty horrendous.
So back on probably your question. So I was influenced, like, I grew up like a lot of loud music, like being 18, playing trap and stuff. And then, you get older, more mature taste. Mm-hmm. It's pretty surprising. I mean, like, Oh Hello, I started with trap. We played that trap comp.
Yeah.
And then very quickly started playing house music. And I don't know, I feel like house music's always around and always will be. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those timeless genres.
Oh, for sure.
Like, my favourite artist, hands down, is Disclosure.
Yeah.
Like, they're so versatile in, like, a range of genres, like pop to, like, club. And, like, when a fire starts to burn, I play that in every single set without a doubt. Because it can, like, if you're playing a peak club set, it works. If you're playing, like, open, it works. If you're playing a college party, it works.
Yeah.
They're probably my go-to artist.
Yeah. Boys, that's awesome. Just to, like, in general, what does music sort of mean to you guys? Like, what does it do for you? Obviously, like, you guys do it for, obviously, work and stuff like that. But, like, genuinely, can you picture yourself with a life without music? Like, what does it mean to you, boys?
No way. It's, like, so emotive and, like, captivating. Like, tells stories. Even, like, you find some really good, like, electronic music. Like, people, like, most, I don't know, we say typical people will say, like, oh, music with words is not music. But you can find some, like, really emotive dance music that's just, like, you can just feel the artist putting their heart into it. Like, even, like, with Disclosure, for example, like, everything feels very humanized. Like, all their drums, you can actually, like, it feels like someone's jamming out to it.
Yeah.
You can just see Guy there just, like, hitting the drum pad and creating the beat. And then you got, like, artists like Tourists who just make this, like, freaking aura of sounds. Just puts you in this environment.
Like Fortet in that age, just ambient, nuts.
It's, like, it's insane to actually do because, like, as producers, you try and make that and it's freaking hard.
Oh,
yeah.
And these guys have just hit the nail on the head.
And music can be so much more like than just music. It can be meditation to motivation, bro. Both sides of the spectrum. And like Dibsy was saying, someone, a lot of the times you can feel when an artist has poured their soul into music for hours. And not only is it good to listen to, of a moment or whenever you sort of feel like it, but it can actually also create moments, whether that's out, whether you're by yourself, you're listening to this music where it can create a moment, create a memory even, dude, where I've listened to songs and go like, oh my God, I remember exactly what I was doing then, and it just brings back these warm feelings, bro. So for me, it's almost like a bit of a memory book a lot of times. And even with the music I have today, bro, like all my songs, when I categorize them in all my playlists, because they get a bit big now, but all my songs are obviously in chronological order. So when I go through a playlist of everything, I know when a song is from when I listen to it, and so it literally just follows that sort of thing. So and back to what you were saying as well, in terms of like artists, like Disclosure is definitely a massive influence on me and sort of how I've learned to look at a lot of different genres as well. But I think one of the people that I sort of gravitated towards would be like a bloke named Wax Motif, and he's just a bloke from Australia, man. He's born in Sydney, did all his DJing stuff in Sydney, and just came up just like us, man. And there was some, like, now he's a famous DJ, goes all around the world, man. And I just thought, man, if someone who's an Aussie who can do that, like, why can't we? And there was one thing that sort of stuck with me. He said something along the lines of, if you heard of me before, then I must have been, like, you know, if you've heard of me for a while, then I've worked to get here. So that's just stuck in my head in the sense of I don't have to get any overnight success. I don't have to be earning $1 million tomorrow. I don't have to earn $1 million at all, bro. But I know eventually that if I'm on the right path, I'll get there, whether that's in 10 years, 50 years or whatever, bro. But you just got to sort of back yourself in this one.
Yeah, that's awesome. 100%. Like, if you stick at it, and like, you boys are just so passionate. And to me, like, that's a big thing for me, is like, if you have enough desire, passion, and you just constantly, you know, wrap yourself in the thoughts of what you want to be, how you're going to get there, you know, it can definitely turn out the way you want it to be. And with all the like stuff, this is where like hard work comes into it, right? And that's for any industry, definitely music as well. And the thing is, if you just, you know, when you're in your element, like, how many times would you boys have found where you're working on a song and you've even just done like a minute of it, and like 7 hours has gone past?
All the time.
Seriously, man. I was making tunes just last night, and the same thing happened, dude. I was like, what the hell?
Time just like gets away. But I think that is the like best moment you can have. And that's when you know you're really enjoying something, where time's flying. You feel like you don't have enough. And like, I mean, I'm sure that you boys have done as well. Like, you're being your creative juices at like night, you know, start at like recording, shooting at like 6 p.m. and then come midnight, you're about to go to bed and you're just like, okay, I've had enough. And then like your mind just keeps ticking. You're like, oh, hold on. Could I add that lyric? Could I add this?
All the time. All the time.
It's shocking, particularly when you are, you know, you can try jump into a studio or make a song whenever you want, man. You can literally sit down and make a beat whenever, you know. So when there are those times where you find that such natural motivation, where there is that spark coming through, time just flies, bro, because it's just such a natural adrenaline rush. And I've never actually experienced anything like that until I made songs that I was actually proud of and, you know, sent to other people and they actually sort of enjoyed. I was like, wow, that's actually sick. And again, it just gives that little bit of a poke in the back to sort of keep going, like, oh, I can actually do this if I just believe in yourself, hey.